Shadows of the battlefield, a Union man stands tall. Silent assassin in the night, heed the reaper's call. Siding strides, a tiefling, holy fire in his eyes. Paladin of dark and light, beneath the blood-red skies. Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right. Save hell, save the multiverse, break the chains, reverse the curse, and the fire in the flame. Three heroes rise to win the game. An Aasimar of ancient lore, wizard of the plains, with spells that rend reality and magic that's insane. They march into the abyss where angels fear to tread. To save the realms of all we know, we walk among the dead. Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right. Save hell, save the multiverse, break the chains, reverse the curse, and the fire in the flame. Three heroes rise to win the game.
When last we left our three heroes, they had made it to the gate town of Ribcage with the finger of Archimethylgarethes, trying to figure out what happened to Aepheus's master, sent there by the governors and their new ally, Gwildor Gardenia. They traveled to the alley where Archimethylgarethes obtained the God's Eye. In that alley, they found a bar, a devilish bar. The bartender insisted on drinks before information. Reg and Aepheus were fine. Brunyr, who was already suspicious, had some unfortunate side effects, and now finds himself somewhat weakened from the drink. But they got the information that they needed. The Spike is an old bar, supposedly in an abandoned square on the west end of town. So, the three scurried out of the bar and went to the west end. They found a large abandoned square surrounded by razor wire and patrolled by hounds of the hellish variety. They found a hole in the wire and the fencing, and they could see that, oddly, the square was empty, save one thing, a statue in the center. They figured, that's it. It's the only thing around here. Everything else is just battered stone. So Aepheus was able to lure these hounds away with his magic, which is still in operation at the moment. Reg got all stealthily, and Brunyr used his invisibility. The three were able to get across this square without alerting these dogs, as they were lured farther and farther to the edge. You get to this statue, and you find that there's a plaque. It says, "Freedom is an illusion. Chains are earned." And there was a soldier with chains on his wrists and his ankles. You noticed that the chains seemed like they could come off on the wrists. So Aepheus decided, let's see if we can get these chains off and make something of this. Unfortunately, The chains are heavy and metal. And as Aepheus pulled them off of this statue, it made a great clattering. And those hounds immediately turned in your direction. So that is actually where we find ourselves right now. And it is actually... it's initiative, fellas.
All right.
Was that
Actually-
your impression of a cat?
Pain. That's still broken. Aren't we missing one thing?
Oh, we are
Ooh.
missing one thing. You know what?
Yeah,
I
we are.
totally forgot about that. We should, we do have to vibe. Oh my goodness.
Vibe hell. Vibe the multiverse.
Ooh,
Hey,
Wow.
still high.
still
Very
high.
Wow.
And within the game, so I don't have to do any editing.
Sure.
Hey,
Why is Aepheus Belamonti saying his name in the chat?
Because
It's a
there's
broken-
a broken macro.
Oh,
Bro.
okay.
Yeah.
where's the trash can at? Okay, whatever. Oh, all right. Back to initiative. Okay, we're good.
Yes, initiative.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Ah,
This is like my third character sheet in like a week. So I'm just like, where's the initiative on this one?
right.
yeah, we just said that was a macro issue, and I just proceeded to do it again anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, it just doesn't work. I don't know why. For some reason.
I think it's because there's a mod slot afterwards that you have the option of entering. So it's an incomplete command trying to go through. I wonder if there's
Mm,
a parameter we could add to the end of it to make it work.
that's a possibility. Yeah. Well, it looks like Aepheus is the guy.
Okay. As Aepheus picks up the cufflings, and he is aware that the hounds are now pursuing and closing in, he starts to panic a little bit, and I think it makes sense to drop his concentration on the dancing lights
Mhm.
and then see if anything happens when I put on and equipped the manacles.
Okay. So you're gonna forget about your spell and you're gonna take the manacles and you're gonna put them on your own wrists.
Yes.
Okay. So you see the kind of dancing light man disappear behind the hounds. They weren't paying attention to it anyway. Aepheus has those. He kind of dropped them a little bit, but then he kind of picks them up, puts each one, he clamps one around one wrist, clamps the other around the other wrist. As soon as that happens, Aepheus disappears and the chains fall. And it is Reg's turn.
Oh.
So Reg sees all this happen. He's focused on the dogs, but as soon as Aepheus puts on those chains, he disappears and the chains fall, and there's no mistaking that because they fall and they like again make kind of a clatter.
Okay. So here's the thing. So what Reg was doing, he didn't want to fight in close quarters. So Reg.
Well, there isn't. Remember, there's no close quarters.
No, but the three of us were close.
Yeah.
Next to the statue, and he didn't want to be surrounded by the dogs at the statue.
Hmm.
He was going to go out to move out to meet the dogs to start to try to hold them off a little bit
Okay.
so they can figure this out. So he started to move out a little bit. And so I get how, if I move out, am I going to hit those dogs? Like, I'm sure they're coming in fast.
No, like I said, this is the round just started, and they're like a good 300 feet away. They're all the way
Okay.
at the edge of the square, and you're all the way at the center of the square. So unless you were like running out to meet them, which would completely like nullify any stealth, any like hide and shadows that you had,
Right.
then no, I mean, again, it's the beginning of the round. Maybe you started kind of towards them a little bit, but
Okay. So then I would say if I started towards them and then saw that, I know I he's still not used to all this magic stuff. He sees Aepheus has disappeared. He doesn't know where Brundy is.
no, he doesn't, because Brundy is invisible. So he officially, like, basically, it seems like he's alone at the moment.
He's gonna run and grab those and put them on.
Okay, all right. So Reg, at first, he starts to kind of go towards the dogs. He's looking to hold them off, but he hears the sound behind him and notices, oh crap, Aepheus is just gone. So he runs over, puts the manacles on his own wrists, and he also disappears. The dogs, at this point, it's their turn. They now kind of start to look a little bit confused because obviously Brundy is the only one left and he's invisible. So they start to kind of slowly, two of them kind of come down one side and one of them breaks off and kind of slowly starts to kind of circle around. And they look like they're kind of circling around that center point where you guys were. And that's kind of what they're doing, but they're doing it kind of slowly and carefully. And now it's Brundy's turn.
I want to try to stealthily make my way to the manacles.
Okay. All right. I mean, you're right there because, again, like you guys were kind of all together there in a group. You hadn't fanned out. You were close, so you don't really have to do anything at all as far as, maybe walk like 5 feet. I can't imagine you were like super far away from Aepheus. That's really not the way it seemed the last session. So
No, I was trying to follow him pretty
yeah,
closely.
you were really close. So yeah, it's right there. And I mean, you saw both of them disappear pretty easily. So
I assume this interaction dispels my invisibility?
it does, yeah.
Then yeah, knowing that, I will put them on as quickly as I can.
Okay. You walk over, grab the manacles, and place them on your hands. As you do, your invisibility fades. The dogs they notice, but as soon as they notice, you blink out, and the three of you, of course, first, Aepheus, rewind just a little tiny bit. Aepheus finds himself in kind of a dingy hallway. Behind him is a stairway up. And in front of him is kind of a dingy hallway lit with these very, very red sconces. The light from these sconces, it's very red, more than usual fire. And you're down there only for a few seconds before right behind you kind of Reg appears and kind of bumps into you. And now Reg is down in the hallway too. And then not more than a moment later, Brunyr also kind of pops in behind the two of you. Again, there's kind of a stairway behind you if you kind of look behind you. and in front of you there's a kind of this dingy, rough-hewn hallway with these red sconces, maybe about 20 feet. It's kind of hard to see with this low light, and then it looks like there might be a door at the end. It's a really like shadowy, kind of sketchy looking hall.
The you said they're lights. What kind of lights are they?
So there's sconces on the wall with some sort of flame, but the flame is giving off this super reddish light.
Okay. So is it something that is maybe like could be detached from the wall like a torch that we could carry with us?
No.
Okay.
Is the hallway, rather, are the sconces in the hallway dim enough that the light emitted uh would my infravision activate is pretty much what I'm trying to
No.
ask.
No.
No.
It's low enough that it's like that you can still see. It's low light, but not enough for your infravision to activate. It's just enough for you to have that. I mean, it
Dim,
honestly,
eerie, dredgy
right,
atmosphere.
right, and honestly, it feels like,
Is it like a red light in a haunted house?
yeah, it's almost or a red light in a club.
Okay.
That's almost what it feels like. It's for your modern sensibilities, yes.
If we look up the steps, what's up the steps?
The steps go really far. Like the steps are long.
Are there sconces along the steps?
No, the steps are dark. So if you go up the steps, you go up into darkness. The sconces lead towards the
The
what
door.
you think is a door at the other end of the hallway.
I don't know, guys. I don't know, gents. What do you think?
Well,
At least those dogs aren't bothering us anymore.
that's very true. If I have a suspicion that if we were to head back up these steps, we would once again find ourselves in the company of the hounds,
The
which,
hounds the hounds figure out how
you
to put
know, I
things on.
was I was going to say something earlier. I was wondering, like, combat continues. The hounds put on the manacles and teleport into the hallway with them.
Yeah, they're in the hallway.
But yeah, so I think our best action now is to go forth. I have a good feeling this is where we need to be.
Well, I don't have a good feeling, but I guess this is where we need to be.
I don't have a good feeling about this, but
Yeah.
okay, sure, good enough, I guess. Uh,
Reg hasn't had a good feeling since he arrived.
yeah, I don't think so. So the three of you start to make your way down down this hallway,
Yeah.
How
and
wide is this hallway?
How long?
it's maybe like 20 to 25 feet, and it's maybe like 8 feet wide. So it's not like a
Oh,
really thin
it's okay.
claustrophobic hallway. It's a pretty normal looking hallway, and
Okay.
it's just those lights. There's maybe like three on each side, so they don't light the whole thing, and they're like, again, they're just weird. It's almost like little red LEDs or something. So it's like
Okay.
just enough light, like just enough, and you're really trying to like, you know, almost almost squint to see in the dark. And as you're getting closer to that door, you walk maybe about 15 feet, and you're really close to that door. Something appears from the shadows from the left hand side and kind of startles Aepheus. You see appearing from the dim haze of the hallway, a striking figure is cut by an infernal beauty, or at least
What?
you thought, until she fully walks into the light. Her left side is pristine. Her red, silky skin is perfect. And she's got this perfect large wing. But on her right side, you notice that she might have some scars of war. Her her arm is severed at the elbow. Her eye is a vacant hole where you can just see maybe a little bit of a spark. And her wing is just kind of a crude, tattered, uneven membrane. She's just all fucked up on the one side. And as she appears, she says, "Looking for a good time, darling?"
I'm looking for my master. I'm here to retrieve him. Who are you?
She kind of like passes you up, and then she looks at Grundy and she says, "You want to see what war does to a girl?"
Stay back, fiend. I have no likes.
Damn, you are cutting out so bad.
So really,
Yes.
I have changed nothing.
Damn.
Mm.
Back. She finally goes to Reg, and when she gets to Reg, she like leans in and she says, "I can smell the war on you, soldier."
Oh, he
And
flips out.
and she puts
He-
one of her hands on his chest.
He flips out and actually like with force, like not just pushes her away, but like hits her with like that with both hands and just like pushes her away.
Make a strength
hard.
check. Make a strength
Hard.
check.
Strength. Where is strength? There it is.
You push her away hard,
Mm.
and you are shocked by the amount of force that is returned when you like push against her, and you're like able to kind of push her a little bit back, but it is the force that you used is not commiserate with like the little bit that she kind of stepped back, and you're like almost like she stepped back on her own accord, and like you maybe wouldn't have been able to push her if she didn't kind of let you, and then she kind of just goes like that, and you're shocked by the strength.
Okay.
It's like
Like
unworldly.
Is she tall?
Yes, she's very tall.
Okay.
She's like 6'5" maybe.
So she's taller than all of us.
Yeah, she's taller than all of you. And she also might be wearing heels, but it's like dark. Cuz she's wearing this like very skimpy little outfit.
Now, see, this is what we should have run into in the grinder.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't have been a lady.
Yeah. Well, this might not be a lady either.
No, this is a lady. 1000%. Everything about this one is a lady. It's a war-torn, scarred devil lady for sure, but
Okay.
but definitely a lady. So you kind of walk past her, and she kind of just melts back into the shadows, honestly. Which is also a thing that really like, cause Reg, he's kind of he like sees that happen. I mean, he kind of watches her just like melt back into the shadows and just become like just blackness into the shadow, and she's just gone.
Maybe we keep going on, fellas.
And see if
I
this
agree.
if this were like what you call it, Ravenloft, Reg would have to have done like several insanity checks by now. Just
No, not really. No, you gotta have like you have to have some real shit happen in Ravenloft. If you're running insanity checks for that kind of stuff, you're not running things well. Maybe fear, but
fear checks,
anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, what are you guys doing? She's gone, and the door is kind of right there in front of you. Only about 5 more feet.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm walking forward.
Yeah, I'm hesitant, but I'm continuing forward and go up to the door.
Reg just kind of walking backwards a little bit, like
Mm.
what the, like
Sure.
yeah.
So you cautiously approach the door, Reg kind of walking backwards, and when you get up to the door, in the infernal language that, of course, Aepheus is familiar with, you hear the word password.
Foreskin.
Exactly.
Suffering.
When you say the password, the door just kind of disappears into smoke. And beyond, now you can hear the din of some sort of establishment. Drinks and chatter. It's low. Do you proceed within? The light is still low in here, but you can see beyond there seems to be some sort of a smoky bar.
Is there a singer in there? Is there the smell of wine and cheap perfume?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Well, there's the scent of brimstone and spilled ichor, and there's some other smells too, but you know,
Because you know that other demon, for a smile, she would spend the night, and it would go on and on and on and on.
on and on and on. Maybe not in a good way. Yes, that's true. No, you can see beyond. Yeah, there's definitely a thick smell of brimstone.
Sorry, just 1 second. I'm testing something that I probably should not be working on right now.
You probably shouldn't because it is your turn. You're the one in the front.
Do anything in the chat? Variables undefined. Okay, never mind. I'll work on this in a second.
It's not gonna work.
It will work. I'm looking at the CSS right now.
Okay.
All right.
The initiative fix.
Yeah, I was looking
He's
at.
like, I'm
how
gonna
to-
try and fix this character sheet.
Yeah. Okay, so we open the door, smoky brimstone. I look back at the gents. Nudge, walk in.
As you walk in, the walls are hammered metal, etched with old regiment symbols and tallies that you assume probably are kills. Here and there, infernal banners hang in tatters, trophies ripped from the fields of various hellish places. The bar itself is a twisted slab of black iron, warped as if reforged a dozen times. You see There's a bearded devil bartender, his many arms crisscrossed with battle scars as he serves drinks. The clientele is pretty rough here. Limping mercenaries, chain-clad warlocks, and infernal deserters nursing these wounds that seemingly never heal. At the far end of the room, there's something that kind of dominates the room. An old twisted spike of black iron juts up from the floor, and it looks like its tip is kind of shiny and slick.
Ew.
And it's big.
Okay.
It's like this big twisted spike. It's like maybe like 5 foot tall, and it's like just up, kind of almost in the towards the back part of the bar, but almost in the center.
I guess, I'm going to walk up to it and investigate it closer. Seems like an interesting artifact.
You walk up to it, and again, it's twisted iron spike. It comes to a very, very sharp point. Sharper than you would imagine would be possible for this old twisted thing. And then down from the point, it looks like, I mean, as far as you can tell, that's probably blood. It smells like it too. There's like a, yeah, that's blood. It's not a lot though. It doesn't look like somebody's been like, impaled on this spike. It's just like a little bit dripping down from the top.
So, think your master's here?
So when Reg tries to speak, he opens his mouth and nothing comes out.
Do we hear any sound at all?
No, you hear like the sound of the bar is
Yeah,
going around
normal.
you.
But Reg
But
just can't speak.
when Reg himself tried to speak, he shoved a bunch of stuff in his mouth and then he couldn't talk. No, it just nothing came out. He opened his mouth and he started to talk, and it was just like there should be words, but
And I'm not hearing myself either, right?
you're not hearing yourself in your head either. No,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like there's no sound, but there's sound from everything else.
Seeing
Um,
that,
If I do this, what happens?
If you do this, you hear the snaps. Well, you kind of
Okay.
hear it. It's the bar is kind of like, yeah. If we
a
start
bunch
doing
of guys
this,
emerge from the bar doing the snap dance. Roll for initiative.
well, it depends. If if Reg
Oh, we're
starts
doing
doing this, does Aepheus and Brundy follow along because
They ask for trouble.
Welcome to Save West Side Story.
what is it? Worm to sperm?
Worm to sperm.
You don't, you don't know sperm to
What?
worm.
What the fuck is that?
It's one of the I can't remember if it's the Jets or what was the other group? Oh gosh, West Side Story.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't remember West Side
Racers?
Story?
I mean,
Oh.
Womb to tomb, sperm to
Womb-
worm.
it's not. Is that actually?
In West Side Story, womb to tomb, sperm to worm is.
Oh, wow.
I remember that. When you're a jet all the way. Anyway.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness, that's sad.
I think it's Birth to Earth.
Is it? Well, I think there's a bunch of them. Birth to Earth might be one, but I'm pretty sure Sperm to Worm and Womb to Tomb are
I have to find out
other things that they say, and that's from like the play. Like I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
now. Anyway, go ahead.
so yeah, you're in there. Reg tries to talk, and he isn't able to talk. No sound comes out.
At first, I don't recognize this as I'm in front, but
Yeah,
when
you
I hear
probably aren't even paying
when I
attention
hear
to
the
Reg.
snapping, I kind of like look around and see, the scenario, and I'm gonna also peer around and uh, see if there's anyone particularly eyeing us up, expecting kind of our presence.
So Aepheus he's looking at the spike. He looks back at Reg, kind of going like this and trying to talk. And he's looking around. What is Brundy doing in here? Because obviously, you know, Brundy is probably the most uncomfortable. Like it's
Also
probably
trying to talk. Also,
physically uncomfortable. Yeah. If you try to say something, anything again, you
yeah,
get a yeah, Brundy tries to talk, nothing comes out for Brundy, and he kind of notices Reg doing the same. He kind of sees Reg trying to talk and like kind of making noise. And obviously you hear the
hear
noise
things in the
around you,
bar,
the
right?
noise of the bar. Even and you see other beings talking. Even humans. There are humans in here or,
Wait a minute.
non-fiends and
Do we
those people are talking.
do we see them talking or hear them talking?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, talking like normal. So that's not obviously something's pretty weird now. Uh you're looking around to you're looking around to see, if there's anything. Obviously, there are people looking at you. There are folks kind of paying attention, and actually, more and more as you kind of stand here, kind of at the spike, you're kind of standing in the middle of the bar. You're kind of towards the back, but in the middle, like not at a table, just kind of standing around the spike. So more and more kind of you do notice people are kind of not like, kind of looking up from their drinks and kind of like just taking notice, almost like looking to see if you're going to do something, like they're
Odd.
anticipating that you're going to do something. So people are kind of going like this, but Aepheus notices.
I feel like I need to roll an intelligence check for this if I get it or not. Because I think I get it.
Duh.
Nope. Okay, never mind. I'm just sticking behind Aepheus then.
hmm
Right.
Aepheus notices that beyond the black and iron spike, at a table that is just stained with old drink and possibly older regrets, sits a hunched, silent angel, drowning in something stronger than just his liquor. His silver hair hangs in tarnished strands over a face clearly carved in torment, and his hollow eyes, well, they flicker like dying embers. Sadly, his wings, or what's left of them, are ruined things. They're burned skeletal remains. As he drinks, you see they kind of like twitch involuntarily as if they're remembering how to move. And he's got like a threadbare coat that hangs from his very, very wiry frame, and it barely conceals some like jagged scars where you think probably armor rested. And he looks up at you, and he goes. He takes his finger like this, and he goes. Like he tries, he like kind of misses when he does it, but he kind of goes. And then he like takes another drink.
Register,
Right.
what is
I mean,
what kind of perverted angel is this?
I think he's saying toothbrush in sign language.
Yeah.
I'll walk over to him.
Yeah. Hey, you're not gonna be able to talk unless you sacrifice a little bit of blood to the spike for respect.
All right, that makes sense. I'll turn back and walk up to the spike. Put my hand on the tip. Up.
Okay, you go.
A little bit of blood.
You get a little. It is very very sharp. Man, it hurts way more than you thought that it would. There's something about this thing. It fucking hurt. Like it stings. You don't get any actual damage. It's only enough blood to just have a little couple drips come out onto the thing. But man, your hand hurts. And the first thing that you actually say is
Ow.
yes.
Do we hear him say this?
Yes.
I see. That's how it is.
Oh, there you go.
Come along, gents. The
Uh,
spike demands sacrifice.
All right, Reg pricks his finger again. Oh man, that hurts. Oh, it hurts a lot. You're like, but you can talk now.
And I will follow suit last.
dang, that's
So finally, Grundy he also does a little prick and a little bit of blood, just enough to be able to speak. And once you do that, you see the angel sitting at that far table. He kind of like motions you. He's like, you see him. He's like almost barely can sit in his seat.
Thank you for that advice, my friend.
I don't know, yeah.
What can I call you?
I mean, you can call me whatever you like, but if you want to call me by my name, then my name is Gixil.
Gixio.
Yeah, yeah. It's I Gixil. That's me.
Okay, that's how you spell it. I'll go just copy that real quick. Ba, 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 ba.
Let's
Gixio.
see. Yeah.
What are you
Uh,
doing in a place like this? What happened to you?
I think I'm waiting for you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, did you bring the finger?
We brought the finger. Are you responsible for my master's kidnapping?
No. No.
I
Can,
didn't
can I
think
see
so.
it?
Sure.
what the. Oh.
He grabs the finger and he takes it. He stretches it and it like stretches and he like stretches it and then like a piece of it like pulls off and he like pops it in his mouth.
What
I was
are
about
you
to say
doing?
he's gonna pop it in his mouth like a Cheeto.
He does. He pops it in his mouth and he starts chewing, and then he like does it again, and he like rips off like a couple more pieces, and then he like puts them on the table. And now they just look like these little pieces of like they don't look like finger anymore. They just look like little pieces of like gum, like little pieces of like little weird gummy little rubbery pieces.
Was it never his finger to begin with?
Yeah, it
Was it?
wasn't his finger. That was just a ruse to get you to come here, and then it really worked. my my boss is so smart.
Who's
Then
your
what?
boss?
I don't know.
And what do you want with us in the first place?
We're the wait, hang on. Hold still. Hold still. He keeps trying to put up his finger, like he does it a bunch of times until finally he counts to 3, and he was like, "The 3, you're the 3." Yes, you're the ones. You had the finger. It tastes like it was supposed to. So,
Right.
there's a mission. There is a mission for you because you are the two, three. Because they're 3.
There are 3 of us.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know if this is the best place to talk about this.
And then where do you suppose we should talk then?
I have an apartment.
I'm going to do a one of these. I feel like this is related, and see if I have ever heard or read of an exixial. Is that how you say? Oh my god.
Whew.
Huh. You you're racking your brain while you're looking at this guy, and
You read this guy's Wikipedia page like 50 times.
yeah.
Yeah.
The name actually does ring a bell. You believe that if you're not wrong, this guy, or at least another angel with this guy's name, was a powerful deva and a herald of some power, but you you can't remember. But a clear, like obviously, like a lawful good power, like a god. And it's like you don't remember because it's like you've got a lot but the
Lot of
name,
information.
yeah, you've got a lot
Yeah.
of information, and this isn't something that you like specifically studied, but the name, you're pretty sure that this guy was like the herald of a god, like a major power. And that doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Who now
Definitely not.
who has an apartment down here in Ribcage.
Exactly. Now he's got his wings are all burned up, and he's a drunk, and he has an apartment in Ribcage, and he's like drunk as hell, and he's trying to get you to come to his apartment.
Got to buy his drinks first.
Yeah.
Exixial, do you know the location or any information regarding my master in the first place?
I don't. Wait. Oh, the one with the finger, right? The finger. I don't.
Yes.
I don't know if he really is dead or alive, but I have a lead. I think I have a lead. I think I have a lead. But again, we can't talk about it here because, like, it's not a good thing. I'm telling you. And he like reaches out and he like touches your hand. Listen, buddy. You and me, we're all the same kind of. So just trust me. Just trust me. And then he like tries to like take a drink and it's empty. And like when he sees that it's empty, he's like you see like this look of panic on his face. He's like seems like he starts to panic.
All right. Back to your apartment then.
No, hang on. Just wait for the road. Hang on. Hang on. And you see he like goes over to this horned devil that's like serving drinks, and he goes over and he orders like 4 drinks. And then he proceeds to try to carry, though he doesn't give them to you. He proceeds to try and then carry the 4 drinks by himself out of the bar.
Nice.
And you notice that he left like a shitload of money on the bar. Like he leaves just like just a bag of gold. And it's like it spills out when he like puts it on the bar. And the Horned Devil like quickly takes it. He's like trying to like take these drinks. He's like trying to get out the bar. He's not even paying attention if you're in back of him or not. He like comes out the bar, and the hoe in the hallway like appears and tries to lean. He's like, get away from me. And he's like, he's
Is that the name of our episode? The Hoe in the Hall?
the hoe in the hallway.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Possibly. So do you follow him?
I suppose so.
Mm-hmm.
Normally I push back, fellas, but I think this is our guy. I think we have to.
So Exixiel, he walks down the hallway. You see that he's now managed to get one of the mugs like actually into his hand while still carrying the other 3, and now he's trying to drink as he attempts to go up this really long stairway. And it's dark. Though, as he goes up, there's a little bit of light. Just a little.
Okay.
You follow him up the stairs?
I don't see any other option.
The stairs seem long. Way longer than you expect. I mean, it's like you're going up like 4 or 5 stories. It's pretty ridiculous. He's stumbling up ahead of you. At one point, he drops one of the mugs. It like tumbles down the stairs. You have to like dodge it. He's like, oh, fuck. Finally, you start to see.
Can I try to catch it?
Yeah.
Catch it, drink it, toss it behind you. Hey.
It tumbles down. You catch it, but it doesn't really have much left in it when you get it.
Is it just like a regular mug?
It's like
Or is it a demonic mug?
it's a dented it looks like a dented copper mug. It's not nice.
But it's had alcohol in it.
It has it's had something in it. It definitely has had something strong in it. Yes.
I'm just gonna put it on my belt.
Okay. You got this little mug thing now. I mean, it's fairly big. It's like a tankard, because obviously, like, it's bigger than this. It's probably like this wide, but like maybe a little bit taller. Like it's a tankard, which is why he's like, he's got 4 of them. He's really having a hard time carrying him. He's drunk as hell. So finally you see him. He kind of goes up into the light and disappears.
I mean, this isn't anything new for Aepheus, so he'll continue.
So, yeah, the 3 of you walk up into the light, and you find that you're back up in the square.
In front of the statue?
Yes, in front of the statue with the chains. The chains are now back on the hands of the statue. The statue is as it was before, and you're just kind of there, like in front of the statue. You just kind of like appear.
Where are the dogs? Because he's looking around. If
You
he knows
look
where he is,
around. The pack of dogs has now is like really close up to the statue. Like they're right there. But as soon as you appear, you hear Gixiel go, "No!" And he kind of like throws one of the mugs. And when he does that, the hounds, all 3 of them, like take off.
that's all we needed
All it
to
takes.
do.
Just throw a mug. Okay.
And yell, "No!"
You think there might have been a little bit more to it than that. But he kind of walks through the square, heading to that opening that you yourselves came through. And he like heads, as soon as he leaves the square, he heads across the street to this burnout looking building. And you see him, he like goes to the front of this building and he's like unlocking the locks on this building. And there's all these locks on the front of this building and he's unlocking all these locks. Trying to drink as he does it. He's finished a mug and abandoned it like on the stoop next to the door. Finally, he, like, after fiddling with all of these locks, he gets them done. And he enters, and you see this, like, long, narrow stairway up. And he starts stumbling up the stairway. You follow him up the stairway, and finally there's this little door. He opens this door and goes in, and you go into this little, like, terrible little apartment that is cluttered with bottles and junk. It stinks in here. There's like a dirty bed and a stool and possibly some stool and not much else. And
Okay.
he comes in and he kind of like, he turns around to face you and he kind of like collapses himself on the bed. And he's kind of in this half like lying sitting position on his bed. And he's got his like last mug that he's like drinking.
Okay.
Make yourself as at home.
Right. Exixio, what did you need to talk to us about?
Oh yes, we're in a secured area now. Nobody can hear us except for maybe my neighbor, but that guy's a fucking asshole. So I have to talk to you about Jib Hayes.
Is that a person or a thing?
It's a village. Nobody is really sure when it first appeared, but it's new. It's a new place. it's a back door. Or I think it's gonna become a back door. So you gotta go. And you gotta close the back door. I think.
Back door to where?
Hell, obviously. So you got it right. You understand what you have to do.
How are we supposed to
No.
close the back door? And if you knew of my master, or
Oh, that's right.
why didn't?
Your master might have gone to Jibhaze. That was the lead that I was supposed to tell you about.
Right.
My boss has an interest in the three. That's what he said, the three, and that's you guys. And Jibhaze is it's like I think it's good. A gate town or like a gate village. But there's not supposed to be two. There's only supposed to be one. Here. But now there's another one.
And who is your master that is so concerned about this?
I don't know. I have all these debts that I have to pay off. Debts, like a lot. Like you have no idea. And not just like monetary debts either, like other stuff. And it's pretty big. So I'm just trying to pay off my debts. I don't really ask too many questions. My he says he already knows you, and he just gives me some gold and some other things, and he gives me some instructions, and I waited here for you. And Jib Hayes, oh, he gave me the fake finger too. It's not a finger.
Right. Okay. Um,
I don't know what other lead we have.
Jib Hayes is a village on the Outlands. It's not that far from here. And it's new. And you're supposed to go there. That's what I know.
why would it be a problem for there to be multiple gate towns to the same realm?
It's not the way of things. It's and just like you asked the question, but then you kind of thought about it and you realized that, there really only ever has been one single gate town to each realm. I mean, sometimes they shift in or out and things happen, but there's never really been more than one that you can think of. So you're thinking that it's it does sound pretty unusual. I mean, even though it's coming from this like really drunk guy, and like you're not even sure if this is just all nonsense, obviously, because this guy's like fucking wasted. But
Mhm.
if it's true, it would be pretty weird.
I'll tell you what, Exixio. Uh, I'll consider your offer and your situation. Uh, but I need some information from you. I need your
Hey,
master's name.
hey though, what that guy that you made the deal with? What was his name?
Guy that
What?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I was talking to Aepheus.
The guy that I made the deal with. Where?
The
Back
the
at the governor's?
the devil, the devil you made the deal with when we first got here.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name?
One moment. Let me look back to my journal here. Uh, Nevelin. Nevelin. That was his name.
Maybe that's it.
Nivellin. Yeah, that sounds like a familiar name. Nivellin. I think he was one of the other guys. There was like a big meeting, and there was like all these guys, and everybody had like a part, and my part was to get you guys to go to Jibhaze. But I think I remember Nivellin. That guy was kind of a dick. He had a briefcase.
Mm. Well, that does seem to be the case. But he is not your boss, it sounds.
No, there's a guy. Like he didn't.
You're cutting
Nobody
out.
saw him, or at least I didn't see him. I saw the other guys. They're like mostly devils, except for that one tiefling lady. But anyway, all I'm saying is that I think I did my part. I don't
Well,
know that I have any more information for you. And it wasn't a real finger, so
You seem to be
had
saying it wasn't a real finger a lot. Really,
yeah, I mean it wasn't.
but how do we get to Jibhaze?
You so it's right on the outer rim of the Outlands, 'cause it's like I said, it's like maybe a new gate town. I don't know. That's just what I heard. Apparently, there's something going on there. Anyway, it's about 3 miles. So if you leave the town, uh, if there's a gate out of the town, there's a gate you don't want to take. Don't 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 take the wrong gate. But there's a gate, a big one leading out of town, real close to here. I'll point you in the direction. If you follow that gate out of town, Chibhaze is about, I don't know, about three miles or so away. But you have to. It could be treacherous.
All right. Well, I suppose we have really no other option. Thank you, Exixiel, for the information. Uh,
Ah, yeah. Oh, he like looks, his mug's empty, his last mug. He like throws it. Now he's like rummaging around trying to like find a bottle that maybe has a little bit of booze left in it.
do you guys need anything?
Not from here.
certainly not from here.
All right, then. Point us the way, and we shall make our journey.
Oh yeah, okay. He he goes over. He does have one window in his apartment. He opens up the window and he like sticks his head out and he goes, that way, and he kind of points in a direction. The gate that way. And then he points in another direction. He goes, don't go to the gate that way. Go to the gate that way. And then he closes his window.
Right. Okay. I am happy to make my way out of his apartment as soon as possible. So
Mhm.
I shuffle down the stairs and go the correct way.
Should we roll to make sure we didn't get tetanus while we were in there?
Yeah. Yeah, it might be a good idea.
Tetanus check.
So you make your way out of this drunk angel's horribly dirty apartment, and you head the way that he pointed. Doesn't take you too long to find the gate that he was talking about, and it looks like it does lead out of Ribcage and along the edge of the Outlands. It doesn't. It's not the way that you came. The gate that you came through is kind of the opposite way. It's more towards the inner side of the Outlands, like going towards the Spire. This is like right on the edge, and it doesn't particularly look like an easy journey.
Like it's rugged terrain, or like
It looks like rugged terrain, and kind of in the distance you can see almost what looks like a fog, but it's really hot, so you wonder if it's not steam or smoke or something. I mean, there's smoke all around the city, and like kind of this smog that like hangs around Ribcage anyway. But just outside, it's kind of sweltering, but the air is clear. But you can kind of see in the distance there's like a haze.
Jibbaze.
Hi, I'm Garrett, and I play Brunyr in our Planescape campaign, Save Hell, and you're watching Fixing the Dark. Alright, well, seeing as we're going into some thick fog, I was wondering if we might search for some type of way to navigate out there if we can't see. We might not be able to make it back.
Well,
Navigating through the fog of the Outlands. Yes.
Or even a way just to breathe out there.
True. Well, let's see. 1 second. Let me check my dancing light spell to see how long it lasts.
in the distance, you can see kind of jagged ridges kind of rising and falling. Like I said, there's a haze that could be steam or smoke or both or worse. Definitely, obviously you're on the edge of hell, right? So it looks pretty rough. The according to your drunk angel informant, I guess is what you could call him. Um, he said it's only about 3 miles, but it looks like it could be a treacherous 3 miles.
So Reg is going to try to understand this. If he looks to each side, because these are supposedly gate towns,
Hmm.
is there a barrier?
There's not
Not in the-
really a barrier.
No.
If you,
It's like slipping through a wormhole, kind of.
yeah, it's pretty weird looking.
But
It's
that's the thing. So if you don't go into hell through a gate town, do you not go into hell?
correct.
Unless
What
there's some,
do you run into
minor
something?
portal.
Yeah, unless there's some minor, yeah, unless there's
But what I'm trying to figure out is, do you run into anything like a wall or a fence? Because if it's a gate town on a gate town, we just follow the wall or the fence and we won't get lost.
you can kind of see out of the gate, you can kind of see that to one side is clearly the Outlands. If you look to your right, far, far in the distance, you can still see, even though it's very small at this point, the spire, and you recognize it. You know you were close to it at one point, right? So you
Right.
kind of have a little bit of an idea, like, oh, Aepheus's Master's Tower, like where we were not that long ago, was like way that way.
Right.
And you also kind of have a vague notion of that city is supposedly up at the top of that tower. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have a vague notion of that. Now, when you look to your left, which is the edge, what you see is you kind of see like craggy mountains, and then beyond it is just this kind of, it almost looks like a red storm. So it
So
almost looks like when you're looking at it, it's not so much like there'd be a gate, but it almost looks like if you were to try and go that way, it would be almost impossible.
so if we keep it on this side of us on the way there, and on this side of us on the way back, we shouldn't have too much trouble tracking because we can see the spire all the way out there. So we have an idea. It's just getting through the terrain. You don't think the terrain is good?
I mean, I could probably traverse and be relatively okay, but I worry about you. I don't know how the Outlands, in particular this area, will affect you. Um, I do have healing supplies, uh, should you become injured, but at some point, if you were to be unable to breathe, or if the very atmosphere burns you from being within it, I don't know if there's greater solutions past that. We may have to
Reg is
return.
just like looking at you now like what? He's just like,
Which part did I lose you at, friend?
you didn't lose me. This is just a lot more. We don't have anything like this where I'm from.
Aepheus, make an intelligence check. Not sure if this is still the case or not, but
The one time.
Aepheus fails an intelligence check.
hmm,
You've seen it here first, people.
yeah, you're not sure. I wondered what all you had in your supplies is all I was thinking.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I'm looking at it. I mean, beyond a potion, which may not even last us long enough, um, and some general supplies, I'm not seeing anything that would be a game changer.
what
Uh,
potions do you have?
I have a potion of fire resistance, and I have that scroll of see invisible. But beyond that, I have some healing potions, the med kit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, at the
Well,
very least, the potion of fire resistance from your spat in the original hellish gauntlet dungeon. I didn't know if you had more than one because I thought you had initially gotten more than one, but you maybe used one or two. That's what I was trying to remember. How many you had left. But so what's your decision?
um, I really don't see any other way than just to send it. If we encounter too great of a resistance, we will have to come back or find another way. Perhaps talk to our friends at the governor's and see if they have any recommendations. But I need to find my master, and I'm going. So
Oh, wait a minute. That gives me an idea.
I don't like the sound of this.
You just said if we run into any resistance, we can go back to your friends in the governor's.
Right.
Well, they were able to send us through that. What did you call it? That portal
Yes, a portal away.
directly to Ribcage. What if we use that and go back? Maybe they've got a portal to this other place. And we can just be there without having to go through all that mess.
I'm gonna roll this to think about it and see if it's feasible, or if it's something that isn't feasible, maybe because the village is so new or something. But bang.
Okay. As far as that idea, I mean, certainly you could go back to, according to what Gwildor told you anyway, you can use your portal key to go back through. There's some leaning rocks on the other side of Ribcage that you step through. If you go back through that, you'll end up at a courtroom on the third floor. I think in the courts, which is what you had to go through to get down to Ribcage. Now, once you're there, whatever happens, happens. That's the only thing. You don't know if the governors are going to, what they're going to say. First of all, if Gwildor is going to be like, well, you did what you could do, now it's time for you to do more paperwork. Or if Gwildor is going to say, oh yeah, we can totally get you to this other town. Also, there would be a possible concern in your mind about if it is truly like a new village, that there might not be some established way to get there. In fact, it's the first time you're hearing of it. It might be the first time the governors are hearing of it. So there's a lot to consider. It's not a definite like, oh yeah, they could do it, but it's also not a no, it's totally not something they could do. Like you don't really know.
Right. Okay. Um, I think that just means we gotta head out and see if we can make it there in the first place. Less paperwork for me to do if I have to, you know, finish this journey and then do a general report when I get back versus do 5 different reports along the way.
Right, right. Exactly.
A new gate town. Wait a minute, we've got a form for that.
Yeah, there is a form for that. Wait, there's
It's
not
never
a
happened.
form for that. We have to create a form for that in order for
In order for me to create a form for that,
Yes.
I've got to go get this form.
get this form for you to
The
fill
form
out.
for making new forms.
Yeah.
Ah!
Mm-hmm.
Okay. well,
Basically. So, after considering for a little while, you decide that you might as well head out. You might as well, at the very least, see what the terrain is like. If it gets too bad, you can always, reevaluate the situation. So the three of you kind of head out. Now, at first, there is actually like kind of a little bit of a road because this is a gate that it's not the gate to hell, but there is a gate that leads out of the town. So there is a little bit of kind of a road, a little bit of a path. It's rough, but it's followable through this kind of craggy, uh, just It's not good, obviously. The landscape is very broken. As you move, the air is thick with sulfur. It's breathable, but it's heavy. It's got that humidity to it, that hot. So it's definitely like a taxing trip for Brundy, who is still a little bit weak. He's kind of like huffing and puffing a little bit because his strength is sapped. Plus, you almost feel like your strength is being just sapped by the overall atmosphere. I mean, literally, you're like, walking right next to hell, essentially. So it's pretty rough on Brunyr. But you walk for a little while, and after about maybe 20 minutes, the road that you were walking on starts to veer to the right towards the inner part of the Outlands, and it looks like it's kind of veering towards the spire. And you're not sure that that's the way to go, since he was saying, oh, it's along the edge. It's got to be along the edge. If you follow this road, you're not sure that that road is going to lead back. Off the road, things get a little bit rougher. There are kind of cracked red stones that seem to radiate heat, and you can see where that haze is coming from. In the distance, you can kind of see little jets like geysers of steam.
Well, we'd be wasting time if we go back to the tower. Maybe we just try and trailblaze it.
That works for me. Just let me know if things get too rough for you.
Yeah, it's certainly a treacherous hike, but I think I can make it.
As you say that, you hear in the distance kind of a shrieking sound, as you can see kind of a big geyser go off in the distance, and it looks like maybe it even blasts a little bit of fire into the air, but it's like real far away. It is kind of in the direction that you're headed, and you notice that like on the left now, towards the edge, the horizon almost seems to, it's like shifting and like warping. It looks like real weird here. Do you take off the road and start to trudge on forward along the edge,
Yeah, I think so.
as it were? Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already walked for a good 20 minutes, and you've made a decent amount of time, despite Brundy's sapped strength. He's a trooper, and his strength isn't that bad, so he's still keeping up and everything. It's just he's sore. It sucks.
Yeah, with the mod, I'm at 9.
Yeah, so that's still like average. So it's not great, but it sucks. It's not what you're used to. As you continue on, the terrain starts to get a little bit rougher, and the first thing that I'm going to have each of you do is I'm going to have each of you make a wisdom check and then a dexterity check, because things are now starting to get a little bit treacherous. Geysers are starting to pop up. You've gotten into this area. Isn't that supposed to be? Oh no, that was Reg. Oh no, I see. I see. I see.
Oh my god. Oh, it's not natural.
Hey.
Guys.
Reg, this is just like the battlefield.
Hey.
Right.
so-
Look at Reg.
You
Okay.
can
So I'm
navigate
trying to
this and move
see.
just fine.
So Aepheus made his wisdom, failed dexterity. I was trying to see. Did you?
I failed Wiz, but made Dex.
You failed. How did you fail? Isn't that your like your thing? Wisdom.
Primary.
No, my primary is Charisma.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, he's
Yeah, Charisma and Constitution.
Oh, okay, okay, interesting. I figured it would be wisdom. All right, so but you did make your dexterity check. Aepheus made wisdom but failed dexterity. Okay, 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 okay. So Brundy is going along, and he's the first one to kind of stumble into what looks to be a geyser thing, but as soon as it kind of goes, starts to make a sound, he's able to like jump away, just barely having it like miss him. But oh man, it's really hot, like on his side. Aepheus, he's been able to just kind of avoid the geysers. He hasn't really had an issue with having to dodge them. So fortunately, even though he's kind of fumbling around on these stones and it's like slowing him down, he hasn't had anything. Reg is like nimbly leaping from like stone to stone and literally not having any problems at all. You're really hot, but at the same time you're actually used to being you have been in wool uniforms in the South.
Yes.
And so you're just used to it. You're actually, this is something. Aepheus is kind of used to having his nose in books. Like he goes out sometimes, but it's not, stuff like this is pretty rough. It's not what he's used to. And Brunyr, he's used to the comfortable climate of the lakeside temple, you know. So this is rough, but Reg, man, he's like, I'm a veteran of war. he's he's making it through pretty good. But the heat is very sweltering. So now I'm gonna have you all make a constitution check.
Con check. Oh yeah.
Passes out.
Oh no!
Passes out.
Passes out into a geyser. Oh no!
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
No one's
Oh,
doing
no.
too well
No,
here.
yeah. I might be hopping, but yeah, no.
You're hopping, but the hopping is maybe it was too much. Maybe it was a little bit too much. The three of your characters, at this point, you went for about 20 minutes. That was pretty good. Then you've gone for another maybe like 20 minutes in this situation. Though you haven't been injured by any of the geysers, just the extreme heat of them is starting to cause each of you to become dehydrated. What do your water stores look like? Because you guys are thirsty. And like Brunyr is ready to pass out. Like he's like parched and he's like Have you guys
So-
even been drinking water? You guys have been drinking alcohol? Like, what do your water stores look like? Because this is starting to get rough.
Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah, Reg.
I don't have any water stores.
Uh-oh.
Because
Yeah.
all of my shit is in my pack that I didn't take
Virginia.
with me in Virginia.
Yes. Yeah. Oops.
Now I do have a
Didn't
gallon
you
water
guys have a
skin.
town adventure where you went to like buy a bunch of stuff and oh. So what was that, Garrett?
I do have a gallon water skin.
Okay.
Probably haven't filled it since we were in Sigil.
I have a
Okay, yeah.
canteen.
So
I don't
assuming
know.
I'll probably say that you probably filled your gallon water skin in Sigil. I would imagine that probably before leaving in the morning you filled yours. Aepheus has a canteen. It makes perfect sense that he would have filled his as well. So first of all, Aepheus, if you just have like a canteen and it's not like a big thing, you feel like you need to drink this entire thing.
I kind of figured.
Cool.
You are absolutely parched and you're just like ripping open your thing. Brundy, because he hasn't really, because it's still pretty early. You haven't really done anything this day, obviously, since you left. And other than go to bars and have drinks, which means you probably haven't been drinking your water. I'm gonna say your full bladder is, the bladder of water is full, and you are absolutely parched. So you begin to drink. And
Here's the other thing. If you drink like that when you're parched, you can make yourself sick.
You can. You
can absolutely make yourself sick.
Yeah, absolutely. You end up drinking about almost a third of the gallon before finally feeling like okay. And are you gonna hand it off to Reg? Because you realize that Reg is like just sitting there with nothing.
Absolutely, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking if you're going to make me drink a penalty to give some to Reg, but yes.
You're still clipping a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as bad, but like there still was like a tiny bit. I wouldn't worry about it, but
yeah, I'm definitely gonna share with Reg.
Okay. So Brundy hands you this this big bladder of water.
So here's the thing about Reg, though. Being in war, he knows how to conserve water and drink water. So he's only going to drink as much as he thinks he needs.
Okay. It's a rough situation. Go ahead and make a wisdom check.
Yeah.
Okay. You drink down not quite as much as Brundy, but still a decent amount because you feel like you take a while to do it though. I am assuming you guys aren't just sitting there like just chugging water and like getting, nauseated. I feel like all three of you are not that stupid.
You drink as you go.
Right. So you're kind of like, you kind of drink a little bit and just walk slow and just drink a little bit as you go. So you're kind of doing that. After Reg is done, so it leaves Brunyr has now half a gallon of water in his pack left. And
Right.
And as you're kind of walking along and getting the last of that, and oh man, you definitely needed that. Reg goes to hand this the bladder back to Grundy, and Reg, make an intelligence check.
It was poisoned.
Yeah.
Grundy has syphilis.
Oh no, that would be horrible. Can you get that from drinking after somebody?
No,
Uh,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Syphilis is an STD.
Yeah,
don't-
that's what I thought. I thought syphilis, you had to have some
Yeah.
kind of a deeper
Mhm.
contact.
Unless he was stirring it with his wang, I don't think.
Yeah.
Are you so sure?
Anyway, I made my intelligence check.
You get a weird feeling.
I'm getting a weird feeling, guys.
about the water?
Something's around. Something ain't right.
We're being pursued.
There is something you notice that's weird. The Outlands, and you noticed this before, and it didn't really stand out to you because it's kind of normal for Wretch. But there's a moon, and there has been a moon that you've seen as you've been on the Outlands. You just a single moon, and it's kind of like Earth's moon. So
That's no moon.
It's not that weird that there's kind of a moon in the sky.
Mhm.
What's weird is that you notice that there is a second moon in the sky. And it's not one that you noticed until just now. And it's weird. You're getting like a weird feeling from it.
What? I don't know. Maybe it's because where I'm from, there's only one. But that second moon is weirding me out a little bit.
Now, when you say second moon, obviously Brunyr, he's a newcomer here like you. But Aepheus lives on the he has lived on the Outlands for 4 years in the Tower of Archimethil Garethes, and there has only ever been one moon, the Equilibrium moon. So when Reg mentions 2 moons, and you look up, and there's a second moon, like a really kind of big, weird-looking second moon, that's not right.
Do I know if Hell has multiple moons?
You don't think, but this is clearly not a moon of Hell. It's not some nebulous moon that's like over the border. Like this is
this is
clearly a
something
moon that's
up
like
there.
above the Outlands. Yeah.
Mm.
It's bizarre. Yeah, you don't think it's not like anything that you've ever noticed. And actually as you stare at it, it almost looks like it gets a little bit bigger, and its surface looks like it's rippling. It almost looks like liquid flesh.
So,
I'm going
Flesh.
to look around. Can I get my bearings?
we have to roll initiative because now we have to fight a moon.
Yeah.
Ferrari all over again. Am I able to get my bearings? Like, am I able to maybe see either of the gate towns in the distance, or are we just kind of in the thick of things?
when you look back, ribcage is large and imposing, right? The ribs are hard to miss. When you look back, you can see ribcage. It's pretty far in the distance. You feel like if this drunk ass angel was correct and it's really 3 miles, you're maybe about halfway. But he also described it as a village, not so much as a he said gate town, but he called it a village. Now,
Right.
even though it's a gate town, Ribcage is a city. Like, it's big. So you can definitely see that ahead of you. It still looks pretty rough, and you don't really see anything that looks like a city or a town or a village. But if it's small and you're still, like a mile or a mile and a half away, with the landscape, it's reasonable that you wouldn't be able to see it yet. Uh, Unfortunately, there's no indication that you're like getting close to a town or a village. You're kind of out in the wilderness at the moment,
Okay.
as it were.
Does it look like that second moon is like actually that distance away, or is it like an optical illusion where it's really close but it looks like it's far away?
It's
I'm trying to see it look like an
weird.
illusion.
Yeah, it's weird. Make an intelligence check.
Int. It is what it is.
It's weird looking. You can't tell. I mean, it almost does look like it's a little bit of an optical illusion in a way. In a way, Brunyr feels like now that he's noticed it, he feels like it's like following you guys. That could be an optical illusion because he also, you kind of sometimes you're like riding on a horse and it kind of does look like the moon is following you in a way, you know, like
But are we walking towards it? Like,
but
isn't it in the direction we're headed?
it's kind of like above you, sort of in the direction that you're headed. The equilibrium moon is like way far in above the spire, the normal moon. And right now the equilibrium moon is kind of a silvery, slightly purplish color. But this new moon is big. It's closer to you than the normal equilibrium moon. It kind of has this like almost like a pinkish reddish color to it. It almost looks like it's rippling, and like I said, it almost looks like it's to Grundy almost feels like it's an eye that's like watching him.
It's certainly odd, but I think we might need to keep pressing on.
I'm not so sure. This is very strange, and our situation has us nearly out of water already. Perhaps halfway there, perhaps not even close. When I look up at this weird moon, if it was like a massive object, floating up in the steam or anything that would be following us, how far away does it look like it would be?
It's hard to tell.
Is it hard to tell? Oh,
Yeah. Go ahead and make make an intelligence check.
I'm making a.
I'm gonna shoot it with a magic missile.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Are you actually gonna shoot it with a magic missile?
Yeah, I'll do both.
Okay. So you look up. Aepheus is kind of like looking up at it. He's kind of trying to like judge the distance. It's weird because of how ripply it looks. You think that it's really far away, but you know that if it's alive, if you can see it, even if it's really, really far away, if it's alive, you can hit it with a magic missile. Of course, you know that if it's dead, if it's just a moon, because a magic missile always hits no matter what. But you know, like, for example, you can't shoot a magic moon at the equilibrium moon, even though
Wait a
it's
minute.
really
He
far.
can't.
Magic moon.
He can't shoot a magic moon at the equilibrium
Magic
moon.
missile at the
Magic
moon.
missile at the equilibrium moon, because it's not alive, so it doesn't qualify as a target. Like, you wouldn't, just nothing would happen if you cast the spell. But if this thing is living, no matter how far away it is, that missile will eventually hit it, theoretically. So you're like, well, it's hard to say. It looks like it's really far away, but let me check. So you cast your magic missile, and you shoot the missile up, and it goes. And it goes. So, like, the missile appears and goes to the target,
Right.
which wouldn't happen if it was just like a rock
It's alive.
in the sky.
It's just a basically living ball of blood that when your missile hits it, it just automatically explodes
And
and blood rains down.
like the missile, it just keeps going and going and going, and it's like you're sitting there for like minutes. Eventually, the missile like disappears. You don't even see it anymore, and you're like just sitting there watching it, and then all of a sudden, that new moon blinks out of existence, and it's gone, and it's just not in the sky anymore.
Oh man, I killed that thing with a magic missile. I'm gonna get like 1 billion XP.
Aepheus, you just destroyed a moon. What the spell is that?
And it kind of, when it disappeared, it kind of like, it almost like sucks into itself. Like it doesn't just blink out, it kind of goes. And now it's just gone. There's nothing in the sky. Though, of course, the equilibrium moon is still there. Everything else is still there, but that new moon is gone.
It's what's his face. It's what's his face from the beginning. He was watching us. You just hit him in the eye with a magic missile, and he's like,
What, the angel? A Gixiel?
"No, no,
It's him?
no, the other guy. What's his name? Why can't I never remember the guy's name with the briefcase?
Oh, Nivellen.
Nivellen.
Nivellen, the devil. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, maybe it could be. So, you're just continuing on then? Or you feel like you're about halfway, so it's like going back is like going to be probably at least you're at least a mile, maybe a mile and a half from rib cage, and yeah, it's you're not sure. Well, what are you gonna do?
I say we move forward.
You think we should move forward, Brunyr?
But yeah, I think we press on. If we're halfway, we might just barely make it.
We press on then. It's a lot of strange happenings, but sometimes that's the case in the Outlands.
Okay. You press on, and you as you continue to walk, there's more craggy landscape. You kind of almost go up a bit of a hill, and as you kind of crest this hill, you see it. Well, you see two things. In the distance, you think
Whoa!
you might see you
Oh my
think
God,
you
it's the
might
moon!
see
In the distance, giant eye.
you think you might see a village way in the distance, but before the village, you see a deep ravine yawns ahead. Its
Now you
bottom
you
is
cut out.
completely obscured. I cut out a little bit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I don't think anything really was missed. But
Yeah, a deep ravine yawns ahead, its bottom obscured by a black mist. It looks like the only way to cross this huge ravine without going way around is this massive bridge of rusted ancient chain linked together with these large looking bones.
that's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, we
Nifty.
needed that moon to get it.
Yeah. You needed the moon that you just blew up with a magic missile to get across this ravine. And now so it looks like you kind of have to get up to this thing, but then there's this huge ravine and there's these giant chains linked across, and the chains are interlinked with these like huge bones.
Ooh,
So the bones take the place of the planks. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. How far apart are the bones? Like if you misstepped.
They're bones, so they're not evenly distributed. So like there's chains and then the bones kind of hang between them, but it's like, sometimes you get like a big thick bone. But then like sometimes you get like a little itty bitty like, a little bitty like a little thin bone. Can't barely do nothing. And
Are
then
you talking like foot
Like-
gaps or like 20-foot gaps?
nah, not like 20-foot gaps. Like maybe like at the most gaps of like a few feet.
okay, so it's possible.
So yeah, it's possible. It just looks treacherous. So it's basically these big rusty chain links. I mean, like big links, and then kind of in between the links are these bones of various types. So again, it's not like they picked
Wait.
all the same type of rib bone and it got this perfectly even. It's all
Are there
different.
are there like chain rails? Or is
There
it
are other chains that go across, but they're not attached.
okay? Okay.
So like you can kind of like it looks like you might be able to like hold chains as you go across, but like they're not. It's not like a rope bridge where like there's
Not the
ropes on the
V,
sides
right?
and then like they attach down. It's just like
Mhm.
there's chains and then there's a bridge and then there's some chains kind of above that look like you could kind of use them to kind of hang on possibly.
And how long is this ravine? Like if we were to ballpark it.
Looks like it's probably about 100 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's big, it's pretty massive, and it looks like a big scar in the land. In fact, it goes all the way to the edge, and when it like kind of hits the edge with the mountain, it just looks so weird. It looks like the black mist like spills up into the storm. Very unusual. Now, you're still kind of walking towards it, and as you begin to approach it, uh, you notice that there is some sort of a sound below the bridge. Kind of like lean in to hear it, and it's some sort of whispers. Indistinct. Creepy.
Okay. Wrote that.
Okay.
All right.
Oh boy.
You know, oh, you said there's a chain going over top, like all the way across that we could hang on to?
There are actually two chains going across that kind of like crisscross in the middle.
2 chains.
Two
I've got
chains.
maybe a crazy idea, but I've got some rope. I think we could all tie ourselves together and then tie ourselves to the top chain in case we fell.
Oh, good. I thought I had brought rope in my pack, but unfortunately not. I'm glad-
Unfortunately, we are woefully unprepared for any kind of adventure.
Terrible.
Am I the only one that brought starting gear?
Listen, usually my starting gear always has that 50 foot of rope. But for this time, I went with 50 foot of string because I thought it might be more interesting, I guess. And
Got that
that's not
50
going to
foot
cut
of
it.
twine, baby.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, Reg has 50 feet of rope, but it's in Virginia.
It's in Virginia.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I very much agree with Brunyr's plan here. Let's tie
Well, now,
ourselves.
it is only hemp rope. It's not polypropylene or anything fancy, so I don't know about the tensile strength of this. However,
Yeah,
might work.
you know, do what you can. Okay, so then the plan is to. So here's the question. Did you hear what I said when I described the top chains?
You said they were crossed
It crosses in the middle.
in the
They
middle?
crisscross in the middle,
Yeah.
Like one over the other.
one over
Yeah.
the other. So like for example, here I'll just
So
do this.
so at a certain point, we'd have to untie the rope from the chain and retie it.
Well,
Yeah.
if it goes over, we just have to pick the one that goes under.
Well, no, see that's the thing. They're like rails.
Okay.
So you know how you've got like a hand bridge that has slats and that comes up and it's got rails.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a rope bridge, and
But
this would
these
be both
rails cross in the middle where
Mhm.
you're walking through over it. So you still have to hold on to it. You're not going to move yourself between those two chains. You're going to have to go under those two chains and untie and retie.
I don't think you have to untie and retie because it's not like they're fused where they intersect. They're just intersecting. So I think what Garrett is saying, if we only tie to the one that is on bottom, we can easily just, I mean, I guess on top would work too.
Well, the rope would have to go double the length. We'd have to add half the length of the bridge to it. The rope would only go halfway, so it would have to be the one.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, what I'm figuring is we don't tie the rope to the chain. We tie a loop to the chain. That
Oh,
way
yeah.
it just walks with us.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like we're going to, if we were to tie it to the chain, we wouldn't even make it
all the way across. Yeah,
all
you'd
the way
only make it
across, right.
halfway.
It'd be like
Yeah.
chain, and then we do,
a loop-de-loop and pull.
and
Shoes
then
are working
knot,
for you.
and then rope, and then us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes
So-
sense.
Here's the thing. Can any of us see the 50 feet to determine which chain goes under? Or are they thick enough that it's easy to see?
It's hard to tell. You're gonna probably have to figure that out. You probably have to make an intelligence check to see if you can suss out which is the bottom chain, because they are close together. You
I think Reg could figure it out.
Yeah, you think the right chain is the bottom chain.
All right.
So
How's
Then
your knot tying, Grundy?
Oh, I would trust Brundy with some knot tying.
I hope pretty good.
I imagine that Brunyr is a naughty boy, I imagine that he's good with the knot. His background tells me that he's like a Boy Scout.
Yeah, he's Boy
I feel
Scouted
like
up.
he's like definitely like Boy Scout type material. So I feel like he's solid with the knots.
It's not talking
So
a forester skill. I think that's close.
right, something like that. Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
So
Okay.
You guys
you
should have seen the you guys should have seen the project that Garrett was doing the last Nelson Con. We had a river. We had a river in our backyard that he was trying to hang a
oh, the
hammock over.
river. Oh, what were you trying to do with it?
He
It
was
was
trying
like
to hang his hanger. Or
actually, it was basically this. We had like a 50 gap, and I was trying to put a hammock over top of the river.
Awesome. Yeah, because I could see the place from the app because I have like that 360 app, and I
Yeah.
could see from behind like where you were. I could see like the river and everything. That looked like a pretty cool spot that you guys had. But
It did not work though
that's too
because
bad.
the rope
Too
it was
much
a
slack.
squared rope, so it was I could stretch too much.
Oh yeah, I see. Hmm. So Brunyr puts the rope over the chain, ties the rope on the chain. He's well, not onto the chain, but a loop around, ties that, and then kind of gets everybody hooked up. What's your order that you're gonna go? How are you gonna cross the bridge?
So
Does it matter?
yes,
Yeah,
this definitely matters.
I would like to know
This
just
definitely
in
matters.
case.
So I think we need to put Aepheus in the middle.
Have your two strongest guys on the ends just in case.
Right, because if you fall, it'd be easy for one of us to catch. But if I'm in the middle and I fall, and you're trying to catch me, that might not work so well.
I trust it.
So I say we definitely put Aepheus in the middle.
Okay.
How about we put Brundi in the rear so he can move the rope along the chain,
Hmm.
and then I'll just go ahead and go first.
Okay. So is that the plan then?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So with the rope tied and everybody tied up and ready to go, then Reg begins to go across the bridge, and everybody starts to go across the bridge. You step on the bones. They're old to be sure, ancient even, but they are for the most part solid. Every now and again you get a little bit of crack or something, but there are some parts where you do have to give a little bit of a leap. Just a little bit of it. So
Oh,
because of that, there's like a part kind of towards the middle before you even get to the thing where the where it crosses over, where you kind of have to leap. So everyone go ahead, starting with Reg, and then Aepheus, and then Brunyr. Do a dexterity check.
all right. Ooh. Instant failure.
Oh man. Woo!
So,
Oh,
Is it a strength check?
Oh no!
that's a good sign.
Oh
well,
no!
Reg, before Brundy that even happens, Reg goes to leap across, loses his footing because it's like hot and there's steam. It's hard to see, and you got this rope, and the guys behind you. You lose your footing, and you fall through, and you kind of you you did like around you kind of made a harness around your waist, kind of, right, like
Right.
so you just ugh, and it's like it hurt. I mean, how that is. It hurts. You kind of drop down, and it's like, ugh, now Reg is kind of like hanging in front of Aepheus,
Oh,
and
all right.
kind of also like pulling you down a little bit.
So strength check to try to pull him back up and
Yeah, that's probably it, because he's just hanging at the moment.
Well, I've got climb. I can actually, that as a skill, I can try to climb myself back up as well.
But you're just past the bones.
I can grab the rope.
You can grab the rope, but the rope is affixed to other people as well. So
Mhm.
remember, you grab the rope and you start to like pull up, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that it's Aepheus.
it's
Yeah.
still going to be him that has to actually like pull you the rest of the way up. So yes, Aepheus,
There we go.
go ahead and make a strength check. I'll give you a little bonus because of Grundy behind you, but you're like trying to pull and like he's just hanging.
Okay,
Brunyr,
so there
you
was
see
blank.
that Aepheus is having a lot of problems, and Reg is just like
Brunyr!
literally hanging down. He's like holding onto the rope, but he's just dangling.
Brunyr! Rope! Rope! Rope!
Was that me?
No, that was
No.
Atheist struggling.
Oh. Oh, I
Alright.
see.
So
Yes,
have I
yes.
not fallen yet? Can I assist?
No. You guys, because he fell first, so obviously you didn't even get the chance to leap. So yeah, Aepheus is just desperately like trying to pull him up and like just struggling, and he's down
Yeah.
there, and he is he's having a little bit of a problem, and
It's
it's
initiative.
initiative.
Oh, I did it again.
Oh yeah, you guys can test your things now.
Yeah. Garrett, I'll send you the one that works, but I'm gonna test it later to see if I can make it prettier. Did that go through? But oh, I have to make it show on my tab first. So there, and then I'll send this.
You guys
Okay,
should do it on Discord and record it. That's a video that people would probably watch. Like, hey, here's how to fix your like sheet in like your roll
Oh,
20 sheet. Like,
there's tons of tutorials.
oh, are there? Yeah.
Because I'm on the I was on the wiki trying to look at how formatting and stuff works and calling
Gotcha.
different attributes and variables, and there's links. But
Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. So, oh, you know, you guys doing right. So obviously, Brunyr is first, but before that, so Reg is kind of hanging. He's like dangling down, and from below, Reg hears a voice, and it's like, "Come to us." And he sees hands start to rise out of the mist, and
oh hell
as
no.
Brunyr peers
Nope.
down past Aepheus, he can see these hands reaching for Reg. And like you start to see them and they're coming. What is Brunyr doing?
So I've got Aepheus in. I can't just pull the
Aepheus is
rope.
right in front of you. He's holding on to the rope. Obviously, the rope is around both of you, but he can't pull Reg up.
All right, but then I'm grabbing the rope piece, pulling, like, kind of pulling it tight to my body and like twisting and trying to use my body to kind of pull up, not just my hands.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check. Remember, you're still
-2, so I
minus,
didn't subtract it, so I barely hit this.
but you did get it. So that's a 15 then.
Yes, that'd be 15.
Like if because because then it's minus your level and stuff. Okay. You're like struggling, but like you're just like you start to pull him up, but it's gonna take probably another because you're like you're struggling with this and it's like so hot. It's probably gonna take you another round, but you pull him up a little bit, and Aepheus, you can see again. Obviously, you're right there. You can see these hands coming up.
Right. Just another strength check, I guess, to Continue to try to pull him?
I don't know. Is that what you're gonna do?
I believe so. I
If
can't really do
if
much
you're
else.
just gonna continue to try and pull, then I mean Grundy kind of like reached in front of you and grabbed the rope and kind of like pulled, so like you'd really just be helping him at the moment if you pulled.
Well, then, yeah, I would be helping him.
Okay, then go ahead and make a strength check. See if you can give him a little bit of assistance.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Moment of strength from Aepheus.
You realize that it is a tense moment, and but you pull him a couple more feet up. Now, Reg, you feel these hands like licking at your feet.
Ooh.
So
It's
Grab
just
the
these like
chain, Reg.
black shadowy hands that are like coming out of the mist, almost mist like. And you
Am
can
I-
hear those weird whispers.
okay, so am I close enough to grab? Am I close enough to grab the bottom of the bridge?
Now that Aepheus has kind of since Brundy's really like wrenched around and got you like pulled up, Aepheus has, helped. You're just to the point where you think you can grab it.
That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to grab the rope and try to pull myself on that rope so I can like grab the bridge.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Ooh, thank God.
Oh yeah.
Reg is like, "Ugh," he like, "Ugh," pulls himself up, and he's, ah, he's up, now, and the hands kind of go back. The hands got a 3, so good thing you guys all got all won your initiative. You pull yourself back up, and the others to pull you up. Oh, you're sweaty. You're like huffing and puffing. You're all 3 of your arms are like burning, and you're up now, but you're still on the fucking side. You're still on this side of the gap.
Yeah, we do have a ways to
How
go.
much of a gap is it?
Like it's a pretty decent gap. It's maybe about like 4.5 or 5 feet, but it's big enough that it's like, and the bone, like I said, the bones are uneven. It's big enough that you do have to make a bit of a leap, unless you climb the chain. That's the other thing you could do. But now your arms are really burning. Like the other option would be to try and like climb one of the top chains, like with your arms.
Well, see, that's the thing. So like, I imagine that's what I've been doing. Is I've been holding on to the chain to walk on the bridge.
Hmm.
So if it's only 4.5 or 5 feet, if I walk out a little bit on the chain, I might be able to just swing myself over.
You might be
'Cause
able to swing yourself over.
I'm
Yeah.
almost 6 feet tall.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You could probably do that. Is that what you're gonna try and do?
Yes.
Okay. You walk out like just a little bit, and then you kind of do like a little bit of a swing forward. And it's just enough that your like toes hit the thing and you're able to kind of like pull yourself on.
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull the rope a little more taut between myself and Aepheus, so that he has a little bit of a better. So it's gonna pull him. You know what I mean? Once he tries to do the same thing. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm
Okay.
gonna explain
Oh,
this to you.
I see.
So
Okay.
so I'm gonna pull the rope a little taut. So you do what I did. Even if you fall, I've got you, and I can pull you up real quick.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let me try and
because we're all
make
tall.
this.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
Well, that's how our first NPC died in this.
Rope
You
snap.
you start to pull, and he starts to swing across, but he just totally like flubs it, like completely loses his grip. Once again, he falls down in the center.
So
Because
he should not fall as far as I do.
no, he doesn't fall as far because you were pulling him. So because you were pulling him, Reg, go ahead and make a strength check because you were pulling him forward, even though he completely loses his grip and kind of, goes off kilter.
God damn it. We're having problems. This is lack of water is what this is.
Yeah, you're starting to get really dehydrated. You try and pull him forward. He kind of falls down, not quite as far, but because he's in the middle, that also means that Brundy has to make a strength check because there's a jerk from the rope.
Oh, there's a jerk somewhere, all right.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So the three of you are just like, Aepheus is hanging once again, just like Reg, but he's not even like, he's just hanging like this with the rope like tied around his waist, and he's kind of like hanging back. And Brundy and Reg are both kind of like going, holding the rope, and they're struggling. What is Aepheus trying to do? Because obviously they're having a bad time, and they're not pulling you up.
Yeah. So I'm upside down, dangling. Is that right?
You're not upside down. You're kind of, because like they tied it on your waist. You're kind of like
I'm,
hanging
like,
this.
hanging-
Yeah. You're
Okay.
kind of like hanging back
Right.
a little bit. As you're thinking about what you might want to do,
Yeah.
the others
The
realize
hand.
that those wispy hands are now once again have reappeared and are thinking about dragging you to hell, and it is initiative. Okay. Well, I'm going to say Reg is up. Reg notices that behind Aepheus, the same wispy hands coming up from this mist are now, they look like they're rising towards him. And Aepheus can hear the weird whispers from
So
the mist below.
what Reg is gonna do is he's gonna stand up, take that rope, pull and fall backwards. So that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna pull and fall backwards.
Okay. How heavy is Reg?
Reg is 160 pounds.
Okay, he's pulling, he's falling backwards. Go ahead and also just roll a strength check, because I'm assuming you're as you're falling, you're also kind of pulling.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is good.
All right. You pull, you yank, and because he's right there, and you just let yourself fall back onto the planks behind you, which fortunately there are a couple right behind you that you fall onto. They don't crack, and you don't fall into the abyss. Aepheus is pulled on top of you,
Hello there.
and
Okay.
fortunately,
Now what about Brundy, who is also attached to the rope? I wasn't thinking about it. I was just doing it.
That's probably going to be a strength check for Brundy, but with Aepheus out of the dangling harm, I'm going to go to we're out of initiative again because the hands fade back into the mist. But Brundy does need to make a strength check to.
Are we in Broadway Hell?
You are.
because you've got you just keep doing this, so it's like jazz hands.
Jazz
just
hands.
Going,
Jazz
it's
hands. Yeah. So Brunyr is yanked forward. Make a dexterity check.
Oh god, if he falls, we all fall through this goddamn thing. That's just what happens.
Each
Everybody.
one.
Whoa!
As you're yanked forward, you take a little bit of a leap, and you actually end up on top of Aepheus, who is on
Oh.
top of Reg, and the bones beneath you creak. But they hold,
Oh my god.
and you're okay.
Actually, so Reg is actually fine if they don't move for a little bit. He's just going.
Yeah. Mhm. So it takes a moment for you to kind of separate yourselves, but now you're close to the center. You can see where the chains cross, and as you're approaching where the chains cross, you can see they cross like they're like right on each other, and it looks like there might be a some pressure, as in like they're like right against
They're
each other.
real stuck. Okay.
So as
Are
you
we,
get close, you actually, they're so old they look like they might be rusted together. Okay, yeah. So you're getting up close to where the chains cross, and you can see that they're rusted together.
Okay.
I think I actually have an idea for this. And Aepheus reaches into his pack and he pulls out hammer and chisel.
WD-40.
I also have oil in case we also need to use that. But this is probably more applicable for the moment. So I'll pass this to, what is it, Reg in the front?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll pass this to Reg and let him chisel
Okay,
away. Try to separate
so I'm
the
gonna
chains.
I'm gonna take my time with this
Okay.
because I only want to like deal with the rust that is
Right.
rusting the chain. I don't want to deal with anything else because I
Right,
don't want
right.
to break this.
So you're not like going at it. You're like
I'm-
going really
I'm-
really careful.
I'm taking like a scalpely approach to it. Yeah.
Because you are doing that, I am gonna go ahead and say
Hands.
make this roll as a traps roll. Because you're
Alright.
you're a
Mhm.
rogue and you're doing close, intricate work. I feel like
Pain.
comedy of errors. You are like
Man.
sitting there trying to like take the scalpel approach, but they're these big fucking links like this. They're like the links are the size of a football. And they're old and they're rusty, and your scalpel approach is not doing a thing. You after messing with this for a while, and it's hot and you're sweaty and you're just like over this pit, you realize that probably the only thing that's going to do it is a good hard hit, but you're
Okay.
not sure what that's going to do.
So boys, we got a choice. I can either hit it really, really hard, or we can move underneath of it and do what I said before. Grundy can untie it, retie it. It's up to you. I'll hit it if you want, but I think we ought to do the other thing.
What if I tie it first and then untie it?
How?
Do I have more rope if I don't have more rope?
Yeah, I mean, we have
Yeah,
two
I mean
bundles of 50-foot rope.
it's 50 foot of rope. So I feel like that probably is reasonable. You've got 50 foot of rope. So you do have a little bit of extra rope. You didn't, you obviously gave each of yourselves a little leeway in between each other, which is why you were kind of dangling, because you don't want to be like tied together in a way where you can't move easily if something happened. But that's not going to take up a whole 50 foot of rope. So I'm going to say you probably do have like maybe an extra 10-foot lead. So then the
Let's
idea
do.
would be to then go beyond tie that and then untie, right? That's what Brundy's saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what choice do you make?
Oh, that. I
I
thought
mean-
that's what we were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
The safer?
That's-
far
yeah,
safer choice.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
So I'm
Brundy
gonna
moves.
I'm gonna hand the stuff back to Aepheus.
You hand the stuff back. Brundy is able to get and retie a head, and then actually Reg probably has to do it, right? Because he's in front and you're moving forward, so you'd need to tie it beyond.
Well, it depends on where the rest of the rope is. If
Probably
I
at the top.
I wouldn't say that we would have tied ourselves in the middle of the rope.
You would have tied
I'm gonna
yourself
be-
at the end of the rope.
So if I'm at the end of the rope, that means the slack of the rope is all behind me.
No, I
There's
was
no-
assuming the slack of the rope would be up off
Okay,
of the loop, right?
So the way y'all are describing it here, let me show you. Right? So freehand.
Because
So there's-
Brundy's the last person. Well, let me ask you, Brunyr,
So
how
there's-
would you
listen.
let me ask you before Dan starts on his tirade, how would you have tied it? Would you have put the slack at the top or would you have put the slack behind you? The top is the beginning of the rope, behind you's the end of the rope.
No, that's not how we said it. I said that the loop is behind Brundy because Brundy is moving the loop along with him.
Oh, okay.
So
So
any
it's-
slack
okay.
any slack is past that loop.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was
Then,
for
yeah.
some reason I was thinking that Reg was moving the loop ahead, but it's Brundy
Oh,
in the
no.
back. Okay,
It's
okay,
all the
okay.
way at the back, yeah.
Okay, I didn't understand that.
Right.
Okay, then
We
that
actually-
that would make sense that that would be at the back. So then that means that Brundy has to move ahead of the
Which can't work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's because you're first, Aepheus, then Brundy. He's tied. He has the rope behind him. You need this second part of the rope tied ahead. That's the whole point.
Right.
So what are you going to do? Again, that's my question. How are you going to do this?
That's why I said you have to untie the rope and retie it to keep our same order. Instead of trying to pass each other on this rickety bridge, this is already a rickety ass bridge. So Reg is like untie, retie.
We can go for it. I mean, we're all tied together. What are the
What are the
What are the odds that one of us will fall and all of us will fall? It'll be
Because-
fine.
Because we're not going to be moving while we're untying the rope. We're going to move to a point where he can untie the rope and then retie it and then continue moving again. We're not going to continue moving while he's trying to do this.
So I'm kind of surprised to hear why do we only have one loop attached to the chain? Like especially if we have excess slack of rope, then we should make multiple loops.
That's how
So
you
better-
did it, though. Basically,
that's-
you
yeah,
say
that's how we-
you pretty much told me you had one loop. So That's what I was going by. And I forgot the part about Brundy moving the loop, but that makes sense. So then you untie and then tie ahead. Well, you have to move up a little bit because you have to move beyond the.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we all move beyond the cross. Brundy is basically underneath the cross,
Mhm.
unties, turns around, ties.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Is that what you guys are gonna do?
That's how I explain it. That's how I
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So you move under. Brundy unties, and he reties it. Seems good. And you move ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if everything's retied.
All right.
Everything
Yeah.
seems good.
All right.
You move ahead, and finally, after another maybe 10 minutes of just treacherous walking on the bridge, there are no more big gaps. There are little creeks, but finally, Reg steps on to the craggy rock on the other side. And just over the ridge, he thinks he can see the very strange silhouette of a town? Maybe. And I
Oh,
think,
thank goodness.
yeah,
We didn't die.
did not die. And I think this is where we will call it for now. You can see the smoke rising from what you think is Jib haze in the distance over the craggy rocks. It really doesn't look that big at all. But that's for next time.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Good session.
Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of